Hello and welcome. Hey, a few weeks ago, just for fun, I swapped the SRAM NX11 speed group set from my Nishiki Colorado comp to my specialized Rockhopper. That project turned out to have a disappointing result. Long story short, I could not for the life of me get the derailleur to go up onto second and first on the cassette. So I decided to try a new group set instead. I bought a $133 L-Twoo 11-speed group set from Amazon. That kit is comprised of an L-Twoo AX long cage derailleur, an L-Twoo AX trigger shifter, an 11 to 50 tooth 11-speed cassette, and a KMC chain. There is a video linked in the playlist later that reviews the installation and my first impressions of that group set. Now on this ride, I was also trying out a replacement IFX crankset with the existing 34-tooth Snail chainring and a new pair of Crank Brothers stamp pedals in size large. And those pedals are great, by the way. Well, that upgrade was like 3 weeks ago, and since then I've had the Rockhopper out on trails as often as I could, I think 7 or 8 times. I only had an issue on the very first ride when I had a chain drop while in first gear. I took one link out of the chain to increase the tension a little and have not had that happen again since. Now, so far, I am pretty pleased with this group set. I really like how much easier it is to climb with this wide ratio cassette, because I'll be honest, climbing is not my forte. Now this particular access road has a steady slope of about 3 or 4%. Yeah, not so steep, but it is very long. So here, I'm cruising along in 4th gear, and I'm really not working too hard. And honestly, that is the kind of climbing I like. But here's another punchy little climb. It's short but steep, and it's got lots of roots and stones and dips that will suck the momentum out of your ride. But in 3rd gear, I made it up no problem. And on this trail section, there's a short climb with a change in direction about halfway up. Again, that kind of loses momentum. And I also made this climb in 3rd gear. I'm really liking this. And, just riding along on trails like this single track, I can easily cruise along in 4th or 5th gear all day long with this group set. In fact, I'll be honest, these are the kinds of trails that I like most. I like to just get out in the woods and ride for fun. I'm not into personal records or KOMs. I'm also not big on jumps or drops or otherwise sending it. In fact, if both of my wheels come off the ground at the same time, something has gone horribly wrong. To paraphrase Cyndi Lauper, this boy just wants to have fun. That said, I am a sucker for puddles, and the bigger and the deeper, the better. And there are trail features that I enjoy, like this big old rock. I used to have trouble with it. I'd get hung up getting onto the ramps, or I would lose traction going across the rock itself because of the slope, and so on and so forth. I think what happened was I was overthinking it. And when I stopped overthinking it, all of a sudden it became easy and fun. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Another thing that I like about this group set is how quiet it is. Now, I thought at first that maybe it was the KMC chain, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I run KMCs on all my mountain bikes, and they do have some chain noise, all of them. I mean, you know, nothing apocalyptic, obviously, but it's still noticeable. Now here, I'm riding over pine duff to minimize the tire noise, so I'll be quiet for a moment. As you heard, or perhaps didn't, the cassette and chain are about as silent as I could ask for while I'm pedaling. Yeah, I know, it's a small thing, but I like it. And here is something interesting. This derailleur has no clutch, so I expected a lot of chain slap. And I wasn't sure I could do this with my phone in my hand, but here we go. And as you can kind of see, the chain is remarkably stable for a clutchless derailleur, and I really don't think that removing the one link I mentioned earlier would have had enough effect to do that. So, here's the underlying issue. Before I bought this group set, I saw several reviews of L-Twoo ranging from 10 to 11 to 12 speeds. Some of the reviews were, to put it diplomatically, not positive. And some of them were actually pretty good. So when I bought this set, I kind of figured it would be a roll of the dice. And, you know, at worst, I could always go back to a 1x9. As it turns out, though, I am really liking this L-Twoo group set so far. It performs much better than I had expected. And, you know, sometimes it's nice when a product surpasses your expectations. If you want to see more about the Rockhopper, I have linked a playlist for it lower left. There's also a link lower right for another video that I think you will enjoy. As always, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate that. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.